Welcome to the Genesis of the Doctor podcast, where we're taking a journey through the time and space of the history of Doctor Who. I'm Joy.
And I'm Tris.
And for today's episode, we're finishing up Season 13 with The Brain of Morbius and The Seeds of Doom. So, start with The Brain of Morbius. Last time I said that the Sisterhood of Karn were his followers. I guess I was wrong. They're just a secondary... They're a secondary antagonistic force. But they definitely hate Morbius.
Yeah, they're like this dare I say neutral third party. Not quite neutral, they just hate everyone. But
yeah.
they're definitely not evil. They just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame them. With everything they've faced, I don't blame them.
Yeah. I loved like the rituals and stuff that they did, and like they could do a ritual to teleport things to them, which is fun.
Yeah, they played around with some fun ideas with the Sisterhood, and having a bunch of little things that they could do. It's kind of silly that all of those rituals involved like whisper chanting sacred fire, and that's it. But
yeah.
they definitely got to have fun doing it. Although I think costume-wise, they kind of... I feel like rather than looking like the modern take of the Sisterhood of Karn, they kind of look like the Sisterhood from Pompeii with Donna and Tang.
Yeah.
In terms of the costuming.
Thought of that. That reminded me of them too.
Yeah, like just the costuming, the depiction, like the way they handle them feels a lot like that. So it was interesting seeing this being kind of the first instance of that. But this was a fascinating take on your typical Frankenstein story, I think.
Yeah. It's a fun idea to just be like, it's Frankenstein, but on an alien planet, and they're waiting for aliens spaceships to crash. And then at the beginning, we see one of the mutants from the mutants. One of the mutts.
Yeah, and I'm
costume.
so sad that the doctor just called it a mutt as well. I was like, hold on, doctor.
Yeah. It wasn't really necessarily supposed to have been a mutant from that story, but they just reused the costume, so then it kind of became it.
Yeah, I for a lot of thought it was just reusing the costume, but then the doctor goes, poor mutt. And I was like, doctor, like,
yeah,
you shouldn't be calling them that.
In the novelization, they say it's not like the same mutant. It's, but yeah, in the story, they definitely make the implication that it is. And I just loved like the exchange that Solon had about the Doctor's head.
There were
very
some
funny,
great exchanges and dialogue throughout this whole story. I think, I think Solon was actually a pretty great character because he wasn't the full on insane. Like he kind of was, but he wasn't like the completely crazy insane. It was the intelligent insane, the very scary kind.
Yeah. I just loved like he takes off Doctor's hat and he's like, what a magnificent head. Superb head. Very awkward dialogue you got there.
Very awkward dialogue, and I like how Sarah Jane immediately catches on that something's wrong here. The Doctor kind of does, but also kind of just chalks it up to like, oh, I mean, there's nobody else here. They're probably just a little awkward.
Yeah. And I like how the Doctor's like, I had a great one before this, and some people liked it. And Sarah said, yeah, I did. It's funny.
It is pretty silly. I need to point out in that first episode how with the drink, Sarah immediately knows like something's wrong here, so she spills out her drink, watches the Doctor kind of succumb to it, and then immediately catches on, yells "Doctor," and then passes out. But purposefully pretends to pass out because at a glance it looks like it's poor acting, but then you realize it's in character poor acting. It's her going, "Oh, I need to pretend I drank it too," and just immediately like playing into it, and somehow Solon just immediately falling for it. But really well done unspoken moments from Sarah Jane, especially this story. Like that.
Yeah, I didn't notice her pouring out the wine until the second time I watched it over. But yeah, It's funny how she just pours it into like her bowl instead of drinking it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you notice, oh, that's why she didn't actually faint. She
Yep.
just pretended to. And then Solon doesn't really make sure she actually is asleep, so he just
No.
takes the doctor off.
It's definitely a really cool story with the sets too. The sets were really good.
Yeah, they are. It's it's just like a creepy atmosphere throughout the whole thing, which
Mm-hmm.
really elevates it, I feel.
Yeah. It really does. I wish there was a little bit more to the mansion for them to explore, because we only really
Yeah.
see like 3 rooms to it, and I understand, the amount of work it took to really build it up, but there's like only like 2 scenes in the like winding hallway that we see them in, and I kind of wish we had a little bit more in that hallway just to kind of, I guess, emphasize the size of the manor that they were in, because I think it really could have played into the creepy element even more.
Yeah. And I loved how the doctor gets kidnapped while he's going to be operated on. Sisterhood teleport him away.
Yeah, they unknowingly rescued him.
And then I like how they say he's going to die. He's like, I'm only 749.
Life doesn't really begin until.
Yeah.
No, there were some great lines from Tom Baker in this one too, and I want to point out too that this episode is really good in the fact that it actually has Tom Baker's whimsy again, because I feel
Yeah.
like both in general and also like previous stories, the next story, I feel like a lot of his whimsy's kind of gone this season. He seems like really like angry most of the time, really like frustrated
Yeah.
most of the time. And this episode had the whimsy back, which is good. Because it's gone again in Seeds of Doom, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
it,
Definitely gets
it, it
angry
was
at
good
people a
seeing
lot.
him all whimsy here.
He gets angry a lot in Seeds of Doom. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like when the doctor is a bit more whimsical.
Yeah. I
Definitely
think Tom
better.
Baker's at his best when he's more whimsical, and that's part of why I think Brandon Morbius was a great story for him and Sarah Jane, and in general. All the supporting cast are really great too.
Yeah. Sarah Jane gets to do quite a lot
Mm-hmm.
because she's kind of just on her own for half of it.
I'm impressed at how much mileage they get out of her being blinded. Not gonna lie, I kind of thought it
Yeah.
was gonna be used as an end stinger and then immediately solved within 10 minutes in the next episode.
Yeah.
But they played it up for like an entire episode that she's walking around blind. Uh, Considering she's in heels and it's mostly stairs, I know she's like actually walking around, like she doesn't have her eyes closed, so it's nothing like actually dangerous for her. But like, she did a good job actually looking like she didn't really know where she was going or could see,
Yeah.
while also making sure not to fall on all of the stairs they kept putting her on.
Yeah. Apparently, the scene where the doctor was going to be set on fire, they actually kind of had a problem with the fire when they were filming it. So the fire the flames shot up a lot higher than they were supposed to. So then there was issues there.
Mm, I can
Tom Baker
imagine.
could have been hurt pretty badly if he didn't get out of there at the right time.
Well, it's a good thing he
Because you'll
did.
notice, like, in like the first shot of the fire, you'll notice that the flames go up pretty high, and then in the
Mm-hmm.
later shots, they don't because they were more careful the second time they set the fire.
Well, that's good.
And this was originally written by Terrence Dix, but then it was changed quite a lot by Robert Holmes, so he asked them to use a Bland pseudonym, which is why it's called Robin Bland is the writer. They just put Bland in the
Okay.
name.
That's kind of funny, actually.
Apparently, the character that became Solon was originally supposed to be a robot, and like in Terrence Dix's version, it was like the robot doesn't understand how to make a beautiful being, which is why like Morbius is so ugly. So then he didn't like that it was a human now.
I actually really liked how Sullen was done, because
Yeah,
I think it really plays the idea of he's a bit insane and he's trying to make new life out of like literal scraps.
Yeah.
Like he is taking what he can where he can. It is not just let me just take a whole person and just put this brain in their body. It is let me take what I can of like each thing that ends up here to stitch
Yeah.
together a whole body.
Especially because, you know, when spaceship crashes, you probably don't have a full intact body all that much.
He even mentioned that with Kondo. Kondo's arm had to be lost, but then Kondo's arm was then also used.
Yeah.
Kondo
I know.
in general is an interesting character too.
Yeah. With the character originally supposed to be a robot, they changed it mostly just because, like, how do they have a robot on their limited budget? That would be difficult.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
eventually Terrence Dix understood, like, why they did it, but when he saw the edited script, he wasn't happy originally.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I liked Kondo too. He was a fun character, and I kind of like how he like falls for Sarah Jane.
Yeah,
Funny.
I like how that turns him into a bit of a hero to try to protect her, even though
Yeah,
it's still a little weird, and it's not like she entirely likes it either. Like she's also bothered by him. I am glad it at least makes him further contest Solon
yeah,
and
and
Morbius, of course.
I like the exchange of Solon joke, Kondo not joke. I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, there were some great lines from Kondo as well. Like in general, this entire like cast was really good.
Yeah, I also liked when Sarah Jane thinks that the Doctor dies again, and then he's like, "You thought I was dead, didn't you? You're always making that mistake."
Yeah, they keep doing it. They keep
Yeah.
doing it.
I like how he makes fun of it though, that it just keeps happening. It says that she's always making that mistake. I mean, it's true.
Yeah, they're really just playing it for jokes at this point because they keep putting him in situations where, oh, is he dead? Is he not? Nope.
Yep. I also found it very funny when, like, the Doctor gets captured by the Sisterhood and they just toss, like, a tiny, tiny net over his head. And they're like, oh, we've caught you now.
They also do a terrible job tying him up because it's like
Yeah.
only over his shoulders. Like he has full range of his arms still.
Yeah. I guess we haven't talked about Morbius yet. And Morbius is a really fun character, I gotta say.
He reminded me a lot of Omega, but in a
Yeah.
good way. Like there was a lot of the quest for vengeance against the Time Lords, and a lot of that desperate insanity, but ultimately feeling like a very different character, which made me happy.
Yeah.
But I do think it is several seasons later, so it's fine. But there are
Yeah.
definitely similarities between Morbius and Omega, which I wasn't really expecting there to be.
Yeah. I mean, they even like to yell a lot, and that's
Yeah.
what Omega was doing.
Yes. They yell quite a lot.
I found it so funny though that like they waited years and years to find a head for Morbius, and then they decided to just use a plastic brain case in the end.
I mean, I kind of understand, you had Solon wanting to get like the perfect specimen's head, so, really making Morbius wait. But then as soon as the Time Lords are involved, Morbius is like, all right, no more waiting. This
Yeah.
is bad. Do it now.
Yeah, it's a good idea there, I think. It's just ironic.
I
then
think it was crazy. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Sarah gets her sight back in time, just in time to see Morbius wake up,
Which is
and she
great.
gets to scream.
That, just as another end singer, basically. But I think it's crazy how they played out that whole scene of making that body for him and putting the head on, where you have the whole confrontation between Solon and Kondo beforehand, where Morbius's brain gets spilled out and just plaps onto the floor
Yeah.
and like might be damaged. There's just something about that whole sequence that was like very like visceral and uncomfortable in a
Yeah.
really like cool way.
Yeah. And then I like how Morbius is just like not really in control originally, and then
In part
goes
because
off
of the
to
brain damage.
yeah, goes off to beat up people from the Sisterhood, and then has to
Yep.
get recaptured. And then you get the Time Lord wrestling scene of their mind battle.
Which is fascinating, very silly. Shows a lot of
Yeah,
faces, which I personally interpreted as we see the Doctor's faces and then we see all of Morbius's faces.
yeah. I will say that the original intention was that they were in fact the Doctor, but even at the time it kind of got ignored that that was the intention, because I mean we get the 12 relate generation limit in a season, so
Yeah.
when that happened, people were just like, well, the fourth Doctor can't be the 12th one, because then
Yeah.
they would have to explain what's going on with the regeneration limit.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of just makes more sense with what they're doing of you see the Doctor, you see Morbius.
Yeah. Yeah, it was originally the intention that they're the Doctor, and then, Chris Chibnall obviously decided that they are the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Decided to further establish that, or at least imply it, because I guess it's not explicitly confirmed in Timeless Children, but you do see their faces in that.
Yeah, it's curious.
It's like how we had, the Scream of the Shalka Doctor face show up in Rogue and then never again. So you're just like,
True.
okay, it's like, is it supposed to be canon or not?
Funny little cameos, but it would really help to actually know if they're properly counted or not.
Yeah. I know that one of the faces is the current. Philip Hinchcliffe is one of the faces, and anytime he's asked, he's like, I played the Doctor. I don't care what other people say. I was the Doctor. And yeah, all the faces are just like different behind the scenes people.
Yeah, it's like the
At the
production
time.
crew, right?
Yeah, just the producer, the director, the script editor, and then just like multiple other production assistants.
Yeah, that makes sense. How did we feel about the death of Solon and the death of Morbius?
I feel like it just made a lot of sense that Morbius would kill Solon. That was
Yeah.
probably
Well,
where it was always going to lead to.
I mean, that's not actually how that happened, though.
I forget exactly what happened.
Technically,
Was it?
what kills Solon is the Doctor using the cyanide gas, which I feel is a bit
Oh, right, yeah.
anticlimactic. And then
Right, Morbius
even
Morbius
coming down,
almost
he's
kills
like,
him.
"Ah." Yeah, Morbius almost kills him. But what ultimately kills him is the cyanide gas, which I
Yeah.
thought was just gonna stun him. I didn't think that was gonna full on kill him. But it's funny how basically Morbius just comes down and he's like, "Huh, you may have killed Solon, but you didn't kill me." It's like, oh, all right, that's kind
Yeah.
of an anticlimactic end for Solon after everything he did. But all right, and then the death of Morbius ultimately being the Sisterhood chasing him off a cliff, I think was
Yeah.
pretty fitting.
I was expecting them to just burn him when they
I thought
pushed
so
him with
too.
torches, but then he
I
fell
thought
off
so
a cliff
too.
instead.
The green screened fall.
Yeah. And then the Doctor gets saved by the elixir of life.
Yep.
Marin sacrifices herself. And they did a funny thing there where the actress playing Marin is actually a lot younger than you would expect, so they just like show her not in makeup and
Yeah.
she dies. And I
That
like
is
how
indeed pretty silly.
the Doctor gives them a box of matches at the end. It's like, here you go, this will solve your issues.
Just in case the flame ever dies out again.
Yeah. I quite liked this story. It was a very interesting take on like a Frankenstein story.
Yeah. No, I really liked this one. I thought this one was a lot of fun. I think they did a lot of cool little things throughout the story, and I think it was great for the Doctor and Sarah Jane in terms of character performances too.
Yeah. And I will note that in the Sisterhood, like the second in command who becomes the leader at the end, her name is Ohika. And then in Modern Who, like the main lady that we know is Ohila. So she's Moffat intentionally like named her after Ohika,
Okay.
but I guess they're not exactly the same character because it's a slightly different name. But yeah, it is kind of funny just how little the Sisterhood of Karn has come back, even though they're when they come back, they have important roles.
Yeah, they are, evidently pretty important compared to the Time Lords, but they don't really come back all that much, to be honest.
Yeah. It's just the Night of the Doctor and then Hellbent, and that's really all we see with them.
And that role they play later on is pretty big, too, ultimately. So
Yeah. Although I guess Moffat has said that, like, in the Night of the Doctor, they just gave the Doctor, like, water. They didn't actually give him a potion or anything. Even though that's the implication.
It was like something with dry ice to make it smoke. I remember there was like a funny little thing about that, but I don't remember the exact thing.
Yeah. But he said they just, like, gave him water, and then it was just his mind told him to become a warrior.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
That's all he needed. He needed to know what he would become.
Yeah. I guess if we don't have anything else about Brain Morbius, we can move on to the Seeds of Doom.
Yeah, I think we're good on Morbius. Does Morbius ever come back? Actually, I don't think so.
Big Finish has done a lot with him, but I don't think the show has.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Like on Big Finish, they have like a series called Dark Gallifrey now, which is just like about evil Time Lords, and I know the Morbius has a 3-parter in that, and I think
okay.
I think he also came back in Big Finish, like way back, like 20 years ago, with the 8th Doctor. I think the 4th Doctor has had a reunion with him too, as well.
Okay, interesting.
Because the Sisterhood of Karn came back in Big Finish before they came back in Modern Who, and they were in like a Morbius story in Big Finish.
Yeah, that checks out.
Seeds of Doom was kind of funny because for the first 2 episodes, you just expect them to be in Antarctica the whole time, and then no, it's just the first 2 episodes.
I really liked that because it felt like 2 separate stories. It felt like what you would get with stories that directly lead into each other, right? Like, or even like this could have been like both episodes on Peladon, for example. For example, both stories on Peladon, like
Yeah.
And I think it's really fascinating that it played out this way. Because it absolutely could have been a 2-parter and then a 4-parter, but they chose to keep it all together as a 6-parter.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really cool things that go on in this story. I think the sets are pretty good. I think most of the character performances are pretty strong, even though this definitely feels like one of the highest, like, named character death counts in the story.
Yeah. A lot of deaths in it.
There's a lot of deaths in this one. I'm a little sad they didn't stay in Antarctica longer.
Yeah.
But...
Especially because it's kind of inspired by The Thing, and, The Thing is supposed to be in an Arctic base.
Yeah.
It is just funny how, like, this whole season has had a lot of things inspired by, like, horror stories.
Mm-hmm.
A good
Which
idea
cool.
for a season.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's some fantastic ideas. There's some great writing going on here. I guess I just wish there was more in the Antarctic, because they said the base had like 12 people on it, but we only ever really saw like 3 of them.
Yeah. And apparently the costume for like the tentacle version of the monster is just a reused Axon costume from the Claws of Access. Because like there was like the tentacle version of the Axon as well.
Yeah, okay.
So they just painted it green, and there we go.
Yeah, that checks out. But the way the story plays out beyond Antarctica is fascinating. How it all goes back to Europe, and it all ends up in the hands of a plant-obsessed millionaire.
Yeah, I like how it's like, people's greed means that they almost destroy the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun idea. Where we see the threat of them in Antarctica, and then that one dies, but then, they had another one.
Yep.
And I have to shout out that I really loved Amelia, who's like the old lady, and especially when she's talking to, I forget what like the guy's name is, but like she's talking about civil servant with the one guy, and he's like, but I'm a civil servant. He's like, yeah, now you understand what I mean, that like we can never get into contact with you. She's just so savage to him.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of characters in this, and like they're all good characters, I would say.
And almost all of them die.
Yeah,
I was so sad that Stevenson died because I thought Stevenson was gonna be like the episode specific companion that was gonna like help them the whole time.
yeah. I guess Scorby kind of ended up being like the companion, sort of. Although,
In a
he's
way.
the villain for the first most of the story, and then he sort of works with them.
Yeah. His death was kind of satisfying though.
Yeah, he doesn't want to listen to the doctor, so he just runs outside and gets himself killed.
Yep. There was just something about it that was very much well, you got what was coming to you the whole time then.
Yeah. And then Chase wants to turn everybody into fertilizer, and then he becomes fertilizer himself. Chase was a
Yeah.
weird character.
Yeah,
I gotta
Chase is a
say.
very weird character. I mean, his whole thing is I choose to believe that it's not that he was hypnotized by the Crinoid. It's that he was finally able to like let loose his beliefs and like fully lean into it with a bit of insanity. The idea of he hates humanity, he loves botany, he loves plants, and he wants them to rule. That was excuse me, that was always kind of there.
Yeah.
But you know, seeing a creature made of plants that has this amount of control, yes, he will willingly serve it. He will do anything for it. It's like, all right, sure.
Yeah. Even at the beginning when we are introduced to him, he says he hates bonsai trees.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah, his first line is about like, how bonsai are like a crime, and you know
Yeah.
the Japanese must be reprimanded for the sins of bonsai.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what are you doing about this? And then you see the government official Dunbar's like, well,
This guy's crazy.
look into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the compost machine, great great use of that. It appears quite a few times, and it's definitely like very dangerously nearly fully used each time until it finally is. But
Yeah.
it's great. It does a great job, kind of like laying the seeds, if you will, of what will end up happening in the episode. You know,
Yeah.
you know it's there. You see the threat of it being used against the Doctor, but you also kind of know it's still there. It's just a matter of pressing the button. It's going to get used again at some point.
Yeah. Apparently, in the original script, the Doctor would have pushed Chase into it, but then I think like Tom Baker was like, it would probably be better if he was trying to save him from it.
Yeah.
Like someone, I don't know if it was Tom Baker, but like someone was like, the Doctor wouldn't just push him in there. He would try
No.
to save him. And then I like how at the end, it's like the Doctor says, I was trying to save him while he was trying to pull me in,
Yeah.
which is
I think that's a great
fun.
moment because it says a lot
Yeah.
about both characters in that final moment.
Yeah. The Doctor also uses a gun in this, but then he says like, well, they don't know I won't use it, so it's a good threat. It's like, it's still a bit weird for you, Doctor. You don't
It
normally
is
do
a bit.
that.
It is a bit weird, but I mean, sure, go off, I guess. One note I have is the use of the artist. I don't remember her name. The
Amelia.
flower artist. Yeah, was really
Yeah.
strange. Like,
Yeah, it was a
she's
little odd.
just a famous artist. Why is she like recruited as a secret agent by the government? That was a
Yeah.
little strange.
It's also just weird that like obviously the Doctor found out that she needed to get paid, but nobody else knew that. So like, how would they know that she would be a good person to go undercover? Like I liked her part in the story mostly just because like she had very good lines and stuff.
Oh
but
yeah, 100%.
It was
I
weird that she
like
was
that she was there, but it was weird that she was there. I think the only thing that bothered me about it is that she never appeared again. Like, what did
Yeah.
she ultimately do? Their use of employing her was just to confirm that the Doctor was in the house, which
Yeah.
didn't really change anything because the Doctor manages to escape the next morning and go back to them anyway. They didn't learn
Yeah.
anything new in the process.
think there was something about on TARDIS Wiki about how they considered just removing her from the story, and then they're just like, well, we just kind of like her being here.
Hmm.
It doesn't make much sense, but we'll just leave it in.
And then,
And
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, Dunbar is interesting because he's a villain at the start, and then he starts to realize that like he messed up, but then he
Yeah,
just gets himself killed immediately afterwards.
yeah. It, he tries to help at least.
It is funny how he's like, he tells Chase that he went too far with blowing up the base, and then but he tries to get the doctor and Sarah killed by his chauffeur. So you're still okay with people being murdered.
Yeah, it's a little strange. Well, no, because then the car ended up being Chase's chauffeur. So evidently, even
Oh
though
yeah,
Dunbar says they're being dealt with, it was still Chase doing it after all.
yeah, I guess.
So
But he's
it is
willing
a
to
bit
still be.
strange.
He says he doesn't want people getting killed, but then he's willing to be a part of it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird. And then of course, there's everything that went on with Keeler, which I think was
Yeah,
very well done because you have him involved in Antarctica and he's very much against everything going on, but he kind of knows
yeah,
how it's going to play out, and then he becomes the next victim to it all. I think that was a really great direction for his character, and very tragic, but like a very great
yeah.
one.
It's interesting how he's like the one sympathetic sort of villain in the story, and then
Yeah,
he's the one that becomes transformed.
yeah.
But yeah, I liked a lot. I like the story overall, I would say.
I do really like this story. I just wish we had a little bit more of Tom Baker's whimsy because he is
Yeah,
from like the very first line that he is like pissed off the entire story. And I
yeah,
don't really get why, like compared to others. Like I know there's like a threat. I know there's the risk of danger, but like even when he's trying to be more whimsical in some of the scenes, he still comes across as like kind of a rude asshole at times. It's kind
yeah,
of strange. Like it doesn't come out every story, but this story in particular, I feel like Tom Baker's just like maybe like behind the scenes he wasn't happy, but like he just seems frustrated and rude the entire time. Like even towards
yeah,
Sarah a bit, which is weird.
yeah. I know he had issues with being rude towards people on the set. I know that was happening. So
And I feel like it's unfortunate that you can, if you know that context, you can really see it coming through in some of his performance.
yeah, I think it might have been this story that even like the he was being rude about like the scripts and saying that he didn't like them, and then he realized that the writer was in the room. Was like, oh, oops, sorry. But yeah, he got angry about scripts a lot in his time on Doctor Who. I know.
That's
So
unfortunate.
I guess it was just kind of became how he was playing the character, maybe in those stories. And like there was like the scene when he was with the unit commander, where he just yells waffle at him a few times
Yeah, waffle,
because
waffle, waffle. Yeah.
they want to do it the right way and legally go to the Chase's place. They have to do it legally, and he's upset. This is also the last time we will see the original police box prop, because it is still like the first police box prop that they're using at this point, and then apparently it collapsed, like with Tom Baker and Elizabeth Sladen inside. So they realized, well,
Oh,
maybe we just need to make a new
maybe
one.
we need a new one.
Yeah, because that's a problem when it collapses when people are inside. So yeah, next season it will be a new TARDIS exterior. I don't know how different it is, but it will be a different one.
Okay.
We're also going to have a new interior next season as well, and it's going to be like the one time it's a weird, different one in Classic Who.
Yeah. And they never explain it, do they?
I think they, like the interior, they mentioned that like there are just two TARDIS console rooms, so we're going to like a different one next season.
Strange, but okay.
Yeah, And then I think like that one only lasts like a season or two, and then they go back to like the original one. And this is also the last time we will see UNIT as an institution, other than a very brief cameo in the Five Doctors, and then there's a Seventh Doctor story where he meets up with the Brigadier called Battlefield, and then the UNIT's in that one as well.
This story felt like it could have used the UNIT regulars, and I have to imagine it was lack of availability for all of them.
I think
they didn't.
They were thinking of putting them in there, but then they realized that like if they're only going to be there for an episode, it's maybe not worth it. And then I know like Nicholas Courtney was busy around the time, so maybe they could have gotten Benton in, but maybe they could have gotten Benton in, but they were like, well, I mean, they're only in like the last episode, so it's not really worth the hassle of going through all that to try to get them back.
Yeah, I guess. And I mean, this allowed them to kill a bunch of characters anyway.
Yeah. It is just weird to me how, like, this whole season, like, you know, we have the final appearance of the Brigadier, we have the final appearance of Harry and Benton and UNIT as a whole, other than, like, a few cameos later. And, like, none of it ever is, like, oh, this is the final story with this character. It's just like another...
They just randomly stop appearing.
Yeah, it's just like another story with them, and then we don't make a big deal about the fact that they're not coming back.
It's unfortunate. It's weird, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because there was always the intent of trying to do more, and then they just stopped trying when it just wasn't working.
Yeah. It's like, you know, the last two stories with UNIT. UNIT's only in the final episode. Well, I guess technically, I'm blanking on what the name is now. Android Invasion, like, technically, UNIT was a presence throughout, but, like, the real UNIT people are only in the final episode. The real UNIT
was only in the final episode, yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird ending for UNIT as a major part of Doctor Who, although obviously they came back in Classic Who, or in Modern Who.
Yeah. I mean, they're different at that point, but yeah, no, they have. Well, actually, no, because until Kate's there, they're pretty standard UNIT.
Yeah. But eventually they're brought back and become a major force. It just takes the 50th anniversary to make it a big thing.
Was this the first UNIT story that didn't... Actually, since we mentioned it, was this the first UNIT story that didn't have the Brigadier or Benton?
Yeah, I would say so, because Brigadier was in every single one before that, I think.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I think every story that had UNIT, if it actually had UNIT, I feel like it had at least one of the recurring characters each time. This time it didn't, though.
Yeah. It's weird. I also did say last time that the Doctor quits his job here, but I guess he doesn't. But he just doesn't come back to it. we never see the Doctor...
he quits his job.
Yeah, we never see the Doctor being the scientific advisor again. So he just kind of doesn't come back.
I guess that's why I think in a modern episode, Kate says to the Doctor, technically you never resigned. You're still on record.
Yeah.
I think she says that to him at one point.
Yeah, I think that's with the 14th Doctor. She says, like, you're still on the payroll. And he's like, oh, I was getting paid?
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was getting paid for that. But yeah. This is also the final episode directed by Douglas Canfield, who did, like, a lot of stories before this.
Okay.
He was around since, like, the first season. And then...
Oh, wow.
He doesn't direct anymore after this one.
It kind of makes sense. This is the end of season 13, so yeah, we've come a long way.
Yeah. As far as season count go, we are now halfway through Classic Who.
Oh my gosh.
Because there's 26 of them.
Yeah. Wow.
Serial-wise, we're a little past halfway because obviously, like, the first 6 seasons were longer.
Yeah.
So we're technically over halfway through Classic Who now. Seeds of Doom was serial 85, and there are 156, so we're a little over halfway.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Well, 156 is the movie with the 8th Doctor, so...
That makes sense.
But yeah, season 13, I think, was a fascinating idea to just have it all be, you know, different horror stories made into, like, alien planets.
Yeah,
It's a fun idea.
it really is. It's filled with a lot of creative takes on these stories,
Yeah.
and I do really like what they did with a lot of them. Even though I don't know if I would say any of these are like my favorite classic Who stories, the season as a whole is definitely just a joy.
Yeah. It's a strong season. Terror Felt Icons is definitely like the weird one in the story, but that's mostly just because it's technically a season 12 story.
Mm-hmm.
Like it makes more sense with season 12 than season 13 because it's the ending of the story of season 12.
Yeah,
And
but I
it's
mean, it is still also similar to Android Invasion, another idea
yeah.
of body doubles
Yeah.
and
And
monsters.
you could say it's just like a generic monster story because it has the
Yeah.
Loch Ness monster. It's a monster horror movie still. But yeah, I loved how it's, we have a Jekyll and Hyde story. We have like the Mummy, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Frankenstein, and then the Thing. Although I guess it's not like the Thing that we all think of because the Thing that we all know is like wasn't out yet, but like the John Carpenter The Thing is a remake of an earlier movie, and that movie existed at the time. But yeah, it's a fun season, and I can see why people think the Philip Hinchcliffe era is very good.
It definitely is really good. I really enjoyed a lot of the stories themselves here. I
Yeah,
do think I preferred Tom Baker's performance in season 12 to his first season a bit better. I just think he had more whimsy in that season compared
yeah,
to this season. I think there's less whimsy from him and a bit more, like I said, a bit more like rudeness, which I don't like as much. I do still like his doctor though.
yeah, yeah. I would say I agree with that. That I kind of liked him a bit more in season 12, and then I still like him, but I think Harry being there just kind of helped him as well. Made him he was probably having more fun behind the scenes because he was
I think
working with
so.
people that he was friends with.
Yeah, I
So
think so.
it kinda
I think
showed.
that definitely helped.
Yeah,
I mean, he and Elizabeth Sladen really got on well though, didn't they? Like, weren't they like really good
yeah,
friends?
yeah. But I mean, like having two friends there is probably better than having one.
That's true.
You know?
That's true. Because they definitely have great interactions, but there's also definitely times where his frustration feels like it's also directed at her. Like
Yeah,
in the case of it seems like he's being rude to everyone, her included, which feels
yeah.
strange.
We are getting a new companion next season, though, so I guess we'll have to see how that shakes out.
True.
And I will just note that season 13 is the first time since season 7 where none of the antagonists are returning from previous seasons.
Oh, that's true.
They're all
They're
just
all
new villains. That hasn't happened for a long time. Third Doctor's first season was the last time they did that. I guess it's mostly just because like the Daleks are normally in every season.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just didn't have Daleks. But yeah, next season will be interesting because we get Sarah Jane leaves 2 stories in, and then we get Leela, I think, is coming in at the end of it.
Okay.
I think Leela's there for like a season and a half or maybe 2 seasons. And then we get Romana after that.
Yeah, so
And
we only
I
have
know
a few more
K9
stories of Sarah Jane then.
Yeah, K9 shows up at some point in Leela's time. I'm not sure exactly when. But we get K9 not too long into the future.
Since K9 is after Sarah Jane's exit, did they ever explain why in the revival Sarah Jane has K9?
It's because there was the Sarah Jane spin-off that they were making where she had K9. And
Did
then
they explain in that spin-off how she has K9?
I would assume so because it's just like there's just the one episode and I know she has K9 in it. I think it's like the doctor sent it to her or something.
For some
I mean,
reason.
we can watch that. We can watch that when we get to it because it released like after season 18 is when it released, so we can like watch it around that time.
Okay.
I think it's just explained that like the doctor sent K9 to her for some reason. which is interesting because he kind of just leaves Sarah Jane behind
Yeah.
and just doesn't tell her that he's leaving her behind. I think. Because that's how
And she does
she's
say
upset
in
with
the
him
revival
in Bond.
she's been waiting for him, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed season 13. It's interesting. I know people kind of agree that the Philip Hinchcliffe era is the best of Classic Who, so we're kind of at the best parts. And season 13 definitely inspired Modern Who writers a lot, because, you know...
Yeah, that makes sense.
The Zygons come back, Sutek comes back, and obviously Chris Chibnall has been thinking about the brain of Morbius for a long time. And then, you know, Sisterhood of Karn also comes back, so, like, they all wanted to bring something back from this season. But yeah, the Philip Hinchcliffe era is very popular, and ironically, it ends with him getting fired. Even though people love it. Because I know at the time they were getting a lot of complaints about how violent the show was getting. Because it's not really violent from our perspective, but from the 1970s, it's, you know, Kondo gets shot and blood spurts out of him, which was very alarming at the time. But yeah, I guess if you want to join us on our journey, where we're going to be starting season 14 next time.
14, yeah.
Yeah, we have a Patreon, so you can, for just $1 a month, you can get access to our Discord and early access to episodes. And for $5 a month, you can watch live as we record, and you can tell us why Brain of Morbius is actually one of the worst episodes of Doctor Who.
I love how we just go with that. We always go with like something really contrary.
Yeah. But yeah, for our next episode, we will be watching, I don't know how to pronounce this, but the Mask of Mandragora, something like that. And then the Hand of Fear, which are both 4-parters. So in the Mask of Mandragora, we are getting a new TARDIS interior and exterior. And
Okay.
I mean, they haven't even been inside the TARDIS for a while. Like, we haven't seen the interior for a while, I don't think, that I can think of. And then the Hand of Fear is obviously Sarah Jane's final story. And yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, we'll have a lot to say looking back on Sarah Jane afterwards, I imagine. So expect a big rundown on Sarah Jane next time.
Yeah. And then the episode after that, we will be seeing the Master coming back.
Oh,
But just for one story. He's only in The Deadly Assassin, which is the 3rd story of the season. And it's the burnt up Master that you may have seen pictures of online. But yeah, as a reminder, just make sure to watch The Mask of Mandragora and The Hand of Fear before our next episode. You can find those on BBC iPlayer, or you just have to find them elsewhere if you don't have access to that. And if you support us on Patreon for $1 a month, you get access to our Discord and early access episodes. I've been Joy. You can find me on social media at Joy Content.
and I've been Triss. You can find me at ToonTriss.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.